Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Recha HaKodash, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazah from the Midval 12 West Coast coming back at it again with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be land backing, off, starting with, the elder brother Manata Zakba from South Carolina. He made a response toward a very ignorant statement, in the comments that wanna, basically exclude the so-called Latinos from being, of the tribes, man. They're trying to exclude, the so-called Latinos, more specifically the so-called Mexicans, from being, Hebrew Israelites, from being part of the 12 tribes. And you got a lot of brothers that's some brothers, like this brother, for example, GMS, Fear the Most High, saying that's his channel name. He did a lesson, titled Mexico is not owned and controlled by Issachar. Through spirit, it's gave me the inspiration, all right, and land backing off this, because really the whole Latin America is not controlled by the Latin American indigenous. All right, people forget the history. That even in the schools they teach us the history. They taught us what happened to the so-called Latin American indigenous when Hernando Cortez and Francisco Pizarro came on the scene. They got genocided, man. They got conquered. Completely slaughtered. And they don't bring out the destruction, that happened to the so-called Latinos in the schools, man. And they do this on purpose, ultimately to put that schism between the so-called blacks and the so-called Latinos so that they don't get together. Because if they were to bring out everything they did to the tribes, all right, Judah and Ephraim would be more unified. They'd be like, yeah, man, we used to be in the plantations. And meanwhile, the so-called Latinos was getting slaughtered, man. You had their women, they were sticking spears in the vaginas of their women, to kill them. They were, if you had a pregnant so-called Hispanic woman, a pregnant so-called Hispanic indigenous woman, they would cut the babies out their stomach and stomp on them, and then let the mother bleed out to save bullets, But this is what they don't tell you that's what they don't teach you in the academic school system, and it's, like I said, it's done on purpose, but I thought it was all through the spirit, man. Because, I looked at this video, I haven't necessarily watched the whole video. I just saw the title, and the title gave me the inspiration, and it's all through the spirit, man. All right, because the title gave me the inspiration to do this lesson, and when I was doing this lesson, I wanted to pick a different country, for example, Brazil. It's one of the bigger countries in Latin America, rich people of Brazil, you know what I'm saying? And look what the brother brought out here, man. The 10 richest families in Mexico. And you see right there, so-called white people, right? And you go to Brazil, all right? You go to the different, so-called white men, right? So-called white people. It's the 10, the top 10 richest people in Brazil, so-called white people, man. So-called white people, man. Look at that. All right, you know who these people are? All right, boom. So-called white people. Why don't they put, you know what I'm saying? Why don't they put Hispanic, brown skinned people in the images? Because these people are the descendants of the Spanish conquistadors. Look at this guy. That's a straight Edomite, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a straight up Edomite. Look at him. Look at that. Brazil's richest man builds huge port. These are the people that run the Latin American countries, man. These are the people that run, just making sure the mic is on, man. You know what I mean? Don't want to, a little skip up to happen like last time. These are people that run the Latin American countries, man. Look at this guy. You telling me this, you know what I'm saying? Nah, hell nah. But that's, this is, the result of the curses. All right, then you see, oh, man, look at that. All right, look at the so like hold on. Let me get this image, zoom in on this. All right, look at how the Spanish conquistadors live. All right, look at how they live, the whiter people live, so called. All right, and then look at how the tribes live, man. All right. Look at how the tribes live, man. You see, that's one of the things about Judah that be coming out, with that narrative saying that the so-called Latinos is not part of the tribe because they're coming from a place of ignorance. All right. And really, and in a sense, you could kind of, understand where they're coming from because, the so-called black man here in Babylon has been beat down so bad. It's like, fuck, man. Like, they beat us down because of the skin. It's deeper than skin color. You know what I mean? It's deeper than skin color, but they want to use that, as a way to, uplift themselves. But really, you uplift yourself through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man, through the nationality, through knowing you're a prince of the power. All right. And they got nothing to do with skin color, man. Okay. Because we're the greatest people on the earth, man. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. We're the greatest people in the earth. All right. And I'm an Israelite foreigner. Okay. Now, I was born in South America. I was born in Peru. But my peoples, through my father's side, I go back to the so-called Italians. Let me turn this light on. All right. Oh, for some reason, the light don't want to turn on. I'm in my garage. There we go. All right. So like, where was that? My people, my patrilineage, I go back to the Italians, So that's, what I'm saying. I'm, resonate with being a Hebrew Israelite, man. An Israelite foreigner. All right. But I know the culture, I have a understanding of Latin American culture. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is more specifically in South America, man. All right. In South America, you know what I'm saying? If you're white, you're basically, you're basically the on top. If you're a so-called white, if you look so-called white, you're basically on top, man. But the darker you are, the more downtrodden you are. And that's not to say that, you know what I'm saying, that Ephraim and the so-called, tanner, brown skin tribes, you know what I'm saying, they have they have it easy. They do not have it easy at all, man. All right, they dead ass right next to Judah, man. All right, as you can see right here, man, you see how the conquistadors live. All right, and then you see how, we live, man. Okay, that's how we live, man. All right, that's us, so-called blacks and Latinos, man. The Latino indigenous, that's them. All right, and I showed you the images, man. You know what I'm saying? Showed you the images. All right, nothing but so-called white people in the images, man. All right, now let's go poor people of Brazil. Okay, and I'm using Brazil, you know what I'm saying, because mainly, it's the biggest country, and you know what I'm saying, it's the biggest country, and you know it's more people, it's more of a, it's more people to choose from, rather than, picking Peru or Ecuador. Venezuela's a good one too. They catching a lot of hell. You know what I'm saying? But look who's right here, man. So-called poor people. What is that? So-called Latino, man. Look, you don't even got a shirt on. Look at the man back there. He ain't got shoes on, man. All right? Look at his grandma. Man, completely assed out, man. All right? And you know what these kids see? All right, because he got that little phone. Ain't no fucking fancy ass new, iPhone fucking 15, whatever they got out now. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them old phones, man. He probably got, off the church or something, man. And you know what he's looking at that phone? He's looking at you Jakes living here in America. All right? He's looking how the rappers living. All them fancy ass cars. You know what I'm saying? All the gold chains, the fucking white gold chains with the VVS diamonds worth a fucking house. It's lucky, it's a ramp, but hey, man, you get real, you just get real pissed off, at the ignorance of Jake, man. All right, to come over here and say that the so-called Latinos is not of the tribes, man, and you see how they living down there, man. All right, and the craziest part about it is all the sellouts that they looking at in the phones He's telling them to go out there and fucking sell drugs, man. You know, partake in wicked lifestyles, and you know what I'm saying. It's just completely, it's messed up, man. But that's the the state that the 12 tribes are living in. All right, that's why me personally, I rejoice when I see brothers in Latin America set up camps. I truly do. All right, because that's what I'm saying. That's the 12 tribes being sealed, man. That's the elect being sealed. That's the house of David being sealed. The breaches thereof being closed. All right, and in the breaches thereof is in reference to what happened in the ancient times. After King Solomon died, Israel was split into two kingdoms. All right, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Okay, and you had Rehoboam. He was in the southern kingdom. That was the kingdom of Judah, and then you had Jeroboam, who was of the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Ephraim. All right, because Ephraim is which is the modern day so-called Puerto Ricans. They're the top tribe of the northern kingdom. That's why all the everybody in Latin America, they into that reggaeton, they into that whatever Ephraim doing, they into it, man. You got the top artists that what's it called, that all the tribes basically heard of, man. But you're not gonna get an artist from Peru and go to Puerto Rico or go to Mexico and be like, hey, you heard about this artist? No. But if you bring out Daddy Yankee or somebody that's Ephraimite, Ephraimite superstar. I'm not too familiar with them. So if that dude's not Ephraim, man, don't don't come at me. But you know what I'm saying. If you bring out Eladio Carrion or one of them little Puerto Rican superstars, Anuel AA, everybody is gonna know about them. All right, because they're the top tribe of the Northern Kingdom. Okay, they're the Northern Kingdom head tribe. All right, but digressing into the where I was going with this, okay, is that you still have that spirit today, that divisive spirit, that Jeroboam and Rehoboam spirit, man. You had Rehoboam, who instead of according to the scriptures, who instead of it's like taking heed to the counsel of the elders, all right, and listening to the Latin kingdoms, he went and took heed to the younger men, all right, and messed everything up. Then the Northern Kingdom went and flipped on them, man. The Latin tribes went and flipped on them. He went and dissed them. You know what I'm saying? He said some disrespectful, something very disrespectful to him. I'm not gonna bring it out because I don't want to butcher exactly what he said. But he said something very disrespectful. It's in the book of Kings, man. All right, I believe it's Second Kings, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let me see real quick. Just gonna look it up. I'm not gonna go into it, but just for edification's sake, any brother that that watch this, you could read it on your own time, man. All right, Jeroboam, KJV. All right, so you have 1 Kings 14. All right, and then let me see. Let's go into Rehoboam. Okay, 1 Kings 12. All right, so it's like I didn't mean to say 2 Kings. I meant to say 1 King. All right, actually, you know what? Let's bring this out, man. All right, 1 Kings 12 and 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. Okay, so basically they're asking for a break, man. All right, verse 5. And he said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days, and then come again to me. And the people departed. So he wasn't ready to answer them. So he told, hey, listen, man, come back 3 days and I'm gonna give you the answer. All right, so verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do ye advise that I may answer this people? All right, so these are the older men, that stood before Solomon, his father, while he yet lived. So basically, these are elders, man. All right. And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them and answer them and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. Okay. Meaning, be brotherly towards them, man. All right. Verse 8. But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they gave him, and consulted with young men that were grown up with him, which stood before him. All right. And look what they about to tell him, man. All right. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus thou shalt speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. What the heck? You see what? See, and that's that asshole, spirit that the Southern Kingdom has towards the Northern Kingdom, man. Just that asshole, spirit, man. All right, oh yeah, no, nah, man, they not the tribes because they're not black. Because they're not black. Because they're they're not black. The 12 tribes is Negro. The 12 tribes is all black. Black, 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 black. And you know what else too, man? You see that in the world too, man. Not just here in Israel. You see that in the world. You see a lot of, you go into the boxing, you see a lot of jakes, Southern Kingdom jakes that be detractive toward the Latin tribes, man. Don't want to diminish and take away, like, hey man, let the Latin tribes shine. But it's cool because Yahweh Shai raising up all the tribes, man. It's gonna be known who the chosen people are. Yes, Judah had, the most champions. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Judah is, he is him who his brethren shall praise. All right, which is made manifest. All the 12 tribes praise Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? You had the greats, Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson. Household names, man. You go anywhere in the Latin Kingdom, they know Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? You could go to Brazil, go to the slums. They'll know who Mike Tyson is, man. But guess what? All right. The Lord is also raising up the Latin tribes too. Okay. Not to, as it is written in the book of Zechariah chapter 12, not to magnify themselves against Judah. All right. But to, basically as a testament that, yes, these are the special people in the world, man. These are my special people, the 12 tribes, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. 12 tribes, these are my people. All right. That's above all nations upon the face of the earth. All right. Salakia. You know what I'm saying? A little long-winded. But verse 11, and now whereas my father did laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. All right. So that's the answer that, he wanted to, that he decided to give him. Okay. Now, mind you, this is before, the third day. All right. So verse 12, and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly and forsook the old man's counsel that they gave him. Okay. And the king answered the people roughly. Meaning he was, man, he gave him, he gave him that answer that he wanted to give him, man. Disrespectful, unbrotherly, and forsook the old man's counsel that they gave him. And ultimately, this is all, prophecy, man. This is all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, as far as back then, the way it had to play out, because King Solomon went off and the Lord said that he would rent the kingdom from him, split the kingdom, and the kingdom went on a downfall after that. All right, verse 14, and spake unto them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke, and my father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that he might perform this saying which Yahweh Shem Yahushai spake by Ahisha the Shalonite unto Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. All right, so hey man, that's how it played out. Okay, and after that, jumping down the verse, let me see. Actually, let's continue on reading this, man. All right, so it says, so when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son Jesse to your tents, O Israel. Now see thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. All right, but as the children of Israel which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. And then the king Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, and he died. Therefore the king Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Okay, and then it says the house of David because Rehoboam, basically he's a descendant of David. All right, but this is, ultimately, man, Amos 9:11, the tabernacle of David, all right, is all the 12 tribes, man. Is the elect. Okay, this isn't how, you know what I'm saying, this isn't how the elect is going to be treating each other in these latter days, man. All right, and it's not just to, put all the focus on Rehoboam. All right, because guess what? The Latin tribes went off, man. All right, the Latin tribes went off. Let me see real quick. Let me see. All right, hold on. I think it's still in verse 12, man. All right, so continuing on, the book of 1 Kings chapter 12. All right, and then jumping down to verse, let me see, verse 26. All right, because both of the tribes went off, man. Remember, this is after King Solomon went off. All right, and the Lord had it to where he went and split the kingdom, okay, into two kingdoms, and then after that, it was just the downfall of our people, man. It was just the downfall of our people. The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom were going off, and yet the prophets on the scene, man. It was just a crazy, you know what I'm saying? It was like, something likened unto, Game of Thrones, these medieval, movies and series, man. You had war between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, so verse 26, and Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of Yahweh Shem Shai at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto the Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. All right, so he had a insecure, spirit to him. It's all, spirits, all demons anyways, but look what he did. All right, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy powers, thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So he went and built up fucking idols and had the northern kingdom worship him, man. All right, and I'm bringing that out, just as a balance. You had the southern kingdom, they, what I'm saying, the king, King Rehoboam, he went and did, did the Latin tribes, terrible, right? And then the Latin kingdoms, they went off into idolatry. All right, but guess what? If you read into the later passages, the southern kingdom went off into idolatry too, man. All in all, it was just a downfall. That was just the turning point, of Israel as a whole into a downward spiral. All right, not shortly after that, you had the Latin, so like the other nations that came in and, what I'm saying, started taking our people into captivity, starting with the northern kingdom. All right, which makes sense because they went into idolatry first, man. But that's just a little recap, on what happened. All right, and concerning this, all right, so like concerning this situation, these are the two spirits that still linger in Israel, man. All right, the spirit of Jeroboam and the spirit of Rehoboam. They both, Jeroboam, the northern tribes, he had such disdain, and he felt so insecure with the southern kingdom that he went in and turned the northern kingdom into idolatry, man. He went and turned the northern kingdom into idolatry. Okay. And then you had Rehoboam, who didn't want to take heed, to the to the Latin kingdoms, all right, to the northern kingdom, all right, and he answered them roughly. He basically cursed them out, out of a spirit of pride, all right, out of a spirit of pride, and that's what I'm noticing, with these southern kingdoms, with these jakes, and of the southern kingdom, that got a problem with the Latin tribes. We so superior, and that's really a spirit of pride, man. It's a spirit of pride. It's an unbrotherly spirit. To want to X them out of the tribes and exclude them, from the tribes and things of that nature, man. So going back into basically, where I was going with this is, that's basically where it comes from, man. All right, that's where all this is originating from, is those two spirits. But let's go into, a couple more precepts, that prove, all right, so-called Latinos is the Israelites, all right, because they're under this curse. All right, let me see. All right, so Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. All right. And what more, you know what I mean? What more, let me see. Why is this? I thought this was a bit more, this was supposed to be more zoomed out, man. All right, for some reason is zoomed in, see, that's Satan, man. All right, let me see if I could just press on that and see now that's just Satan right there, man. You know what I mean? Why is it zoomed in? All right, click or tap to see. See, it's not letting me go all the way in. And here it was, earlier in the lesson, the image, was more, bigger, man. It was a much, bigger image, man. But it's all good, man. I'll just use this right here, man. All right, the stranger shall be, very high, and thou shalt be very low. All right, these are shanty towns, man. You want to, Jake want to gloat and boast, about the hood and the struggles of the projects, man. Come over here, man. Come to this side of the world, man. Come to South America where the fish will eat you. Can't even jump in the river, man. The fishes will eat you. All right? Dare me to prove it. Man, the very fishes in the rivers will eat you, man. You know what I mean? But that's just, the manifestation of this precept. All right, verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right, and that's basically what has happened. Okay, the so-called Latino indigenous do not run Latin America, man. They don't. All right, because if they did, and not just if they did, okay, but really if they did run their countries, they would be prospering, man. They'd be the richest people in the world, man. They'd be on par with Dubai. Them Arabic sheiks, because they got oil down there. They got gold. They got resources. Brazil's known for diamonds. You know what I mean? Like they got everything down there. They got all the resources to completely, build up their places and prosper. All right, but you know why they don't do it? Because they don't own it. All their resources get sucked out and brought towards Europe and Babylon. All right, see that's Satan right there, exiting out the scriptures, man. All right, but they can't do it because they're the tail. Okay, they're the tail, man. All right. Here's another one. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the world. All right. From the end of the earth. And where was the end of the earth? From Europe, man. All right. As swift as the eagle flieth, which is spiritual. All right. As a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. All right. As swift as the eagle fly. This is basically a telltale sign that that's the so-called white man. That's the Edomites. All right. And we're going to go to this precept right here. Okay. We're going to go to this precept right here. Go Obadiah chapter 1 verse 4. All right. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. And that's, what is the American, what is the American, symbol? All right. Let's go, American symbol. All right. Let's go into the symbol. What are you going to see, man? Boom. The eagle. All right. What about the Roman symbol? Roman symbol. All right. Let's take it ancient. All right. Let's take it ancient, man. Now you have a few, other symbols right there. All right. But this is the main one. All right. SPQR, whatever that stands for, Legio. And then that's Roman numerals for 10. All right. Every legion, basically every Roman army that went around conquering, they had a golden eagle that they would put upon a pole, and they would march with that golden eagle. That was like a representation of them. I'm not too sure how to put it in, but that's, what I'm saying, the Romans, man. And you know who the Romans were, man? They were so-called white people, man. There's the nation of Edom right there. All right, that's the iron legs, in the statue in the book of Daniels. All right. And that was, the portion of this devil ruling over the earth. All right. So back to Deuteronomy 28 and 49, continuing on, it says a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. All right. And that's because, these Europeans, they came in, talking, that European, the European tongues, French, Spanish, English, the old English, you know what I'm saying? German. Hey, our people were speaking the different dialects of Hebrew. All right, here in Latin America. Okay. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. All right. And let's go into that. All right. The destruction of the Indies. I think it's this one. All right, Salak, damn. Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is a book. It's worth $3. It's titled "A Brief Account of the Destruction of the Indies" by Bartolome de las Casas. All right, and let's go with the synopsis. Okay, brothers, you interested in buying the book? It's only literally $4, man. $3.99. Buy the book. Learn what Esau did to the Northern Kingdom, man. All right, hey, and I implore, you know what I'm saying, you so-called black-only tribes, you so-called black-only Israelites, buy this book and learn what Esau did to your brothers, man, before you come up talking that bullshit. All right, pardon my French. All right, so Bartolome de las Casas was the first and fiercest critic of Spanish colonialism in the New World. All right, the New World, it's the Americas. All right, and it was mainly the Spanish that came and conquered, the Americas, in the in the Latin Americas. All right, but they want to clean it up and say colonialism. You know what I'm saying? Colonialism, all right, is like they give their own definitions in the elementary school, but in truth, colonialism is just synonymous for genocide, rape, and robbery, man. All right, because here it is, these devils is living good in the lands that originally belonged to the Latin tribes. All right, and the Latin tribes is just marginalized off to the side, living in shacks, man. All right, it says an early traveler to the Americas who sailed on one of Columbus's voyages, Las Casas was so horrified by the wholesale massacre he witnessed, all right, that he dedicated his life to protecting the Indian community, which, they want to use Indian, all right, and bring out even more confusion, through that by way of that covering cast. People won't talk about, oh, the Indian, you get a East Indian, you know what I'm saying, vibration. No, man, this is the Latin tribes, all right, the so-called Latino indigenous community. All right, but it says Las Casas was so horrified by the wholesale massacre he witnessed that he dedicated his life to protecting the Indian community. Okay, and this dude, basically he ran around the Americas, man. He went around not just in Puerto Rico, he went around Mexico, he went around South America, and he was documenting, what they was doing to the Northern Kingdom. All right, and this is the stuff that they don't teach you in school, man. This is the stuff that they don't teach. See, they teach you about, the Southern Kingdom. All right, and Jake grows up, thinking he the only one that got touched. All right, but really, all the tribes as a whole got touched, man. They all got jacked up. Okay, so let's go. And that's just something that proves goes hand in hand with the scripture here in Deuteronomy 28 and 50, where it says a nation of fierce countenance. All right, because them conquistadors, man, they came in, they were fierce, man. All right, them so-called Europeans, they was fierce, man. All right, they was doing some messed up shit to the American indigenous. All right, from North America on down to South America, man. All right, and it reads, "We shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young." Okay, and they was killing everybody, man. Hey, like you read in the synopsis, a wholesale massacre. Men, women, children, the elderly, the suckling child. Shoot, even the babes that weren't even born, man. All right, according to some accounts. Verse 51, he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. And that's a point that I, brought out earlier. All right, here it is. Latin America is one of the most, they got the most resources, man. Some of the most resources in the world, the oil, the gold, silver, diamonds. They rich. So much so that you had Spanish ships in the time of the colonial time, during the 1700s, the 1500s, during those times, that would sink from all the gold that they would rob from the Latin tribes. All right. The fruit of thy land. It says they shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land. All right. Hey, the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land. Hey, man, you got some fruits that they just outpriced, man. Some stuff that everybody should has the right to have. They just overprice it because they know the health properties of it. And it's funny because Yahweh Shemel Shai still curses the elites, man. All right, but continuing on, it says, in the fruit of thy land, all that oil, you know what I'm saying? Just, the different, resources that get sucked out of Latin America and, basically robbed from Latin America, by way of these corporations, and exported to Europe, exported to Babylon, other parts of the world. Here it is. They got everything they need to, to be prosperous, but they're not prosperous because Esau's stealing everything from them, and they got them off to the side, marginalized. They don't even got schools over there, man. That's another thing too. They don't even got schools, public schools. They don't got that. Majority of people in Latin America grow up illiterate, man. Let's go into that. All right. Illiteracy in Latin America. Boom. All right. So it says, all right, in 2020, the average adult literacy rates in Latin America and the Caribbean amounted to 94.45. Okay, so you got people that's reading, man. All right, but based on what my peoples tell me, because this is basically them, modernizing everything, kind of, revamping everything. All right, but based on what my parents was telling me, man, you had to pay to go to school, man. All right, that's a fact. Okay, you had to pay to go to school. All right, so I believe they pump these numbers up, man. But truth is, man, hey, them people living in them shanty towns, they not reading, man. You know what I mean? But hey, let's continue on going. All right, so let me see. I'll continue on. It says, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Okay, and that's what he did. All right, that's why like I showed you in the pictures, man. You got one side, you got these skyscrapers, super rich, you know what I'm saying, and very, pleasing to the eye, building, as far as the architecture goes, and then on the other side, you got shacks, you got dirt, you know what I'm saying, kids growing up, no shoes, no shirts, even the elderly people is assed out. That's just the condition that the Latin Americans are in, man. And that's just one country. It's all Latin America, man. But Jake wanna be an asshole and you know what I'm saying, not look at that part. As Elder Manata Zakpa brought out, man, here it is, you got billionaires that are of the tribe of Judah, man. You got billionaires that are of the tribe of Judah, so-called black people, man. You got a lot of millionaires that are so-called black people here in Babylon. Celebrities, they in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the average, hey, man, you got people over there, man, in Latin America, they don't even got shirts. So continuing on, let me see. I was thinking of a few other precepts, I was going to bring out. Okay, I brought out the curses. All right, brought out the Jeroboam, Rehoboam. We're going to end it off with the book of Amos, chapter 9 and 11. All right, because at the end of the day, us in this knowledge, man, we got the spirit of Amos 9:11. We got the spirit of the tabernacle of David being rebuilt, man. And Jeroboam, Rehoboam spirit is not going to fly over here. And that goes for the Latin tribes too, man. Now you got Latin tribes that want to have an evil eye towards, Jake, man. That shit ain't going to fly out here either, man. All right, so Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I'll raise up his ruins, and I'll build it as in the days of old. That's the spirit we're in. That is what's taking place in the truth, man. In the Israel of Israel. All right? I'm going to say it like that. In the Israel of Israel, that's the spirit that's on us, man. None of that Jeroboam, Rehoboam spirit. You know what I'm saying? That excluding and detracting, and diminishing the Latin kingdom. No. All right. The tabernacle of David, that's what's happening. All right. So Amos 9 and 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. Meaning all that the little schisms is going to be fixed, man. And I'll raise up his ruins, and I'll build it as in the days of old. Meaning, in the time when all the tribes was together, man. Under King David, under King Solomon. All right. That when we were in our glory, you know what I mean? That's the days of old. All right. That brotherhood between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right. So, and also too, man, Esau's trying hard to, shake that up, man. Esau's trying hard. All right. You got certain agents out there, trying to sow discord and sow division, between the so-called northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. But hey, man, it don't matter what the 2/3 do, man. It's all about the elect. All right. So with that, I'm going to say, Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rchaha Kodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. It was a long one. All right. But it's all about, that edification, man. It's full of edification. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom. On to the next.